Oh, hello, hello, hello. Welcome in, everyone, right here. Fantasy Life on Sirius XM Fantasy Sports Radio. You know the drill by now. Kendall, Valenzuela, Adam, Ronis with you for the next couple of hours, breaking down everything that you need to know. Week 9 already, Adam. We need to get going. Yeah, the fantasy championships are just right around the corner. I mean, playoffs are going to start soon, and it's just crazy how quickly this is going. We've got a great show, as always, planned for you guys. Some news that we have to get through. Trade deadline is now less than a week away, so I'm curious what guys are going to be traded. How you doing, Adam? Besides tired, how's it going?
I'm okay right now. I might be very tired after the show, but I'm good to go right now. And yeah, just hoping to make the playoffs in these fantasy football leagues.
I know.
You look at the standings in most of my leagues, it is so close. Like, there's very few teams that are dominant this year and running away with it. I don't see any undefeated teams in any of the leagues I'm
I
in.
don't either.
I have one team that's 7-1, but I'm not seeing a lot of 7-1 teams this year. I think it's really close, which is good in case you're struggling, because again, the goal is just to get in the fantasy playoffs, and hopefully your team gets hot at the end and makes that run. But yeah, I think a lot of teams are still in it. I don't think there's
Yep.
many teams that are buried.
No, it's crazy. And what's funny is that at the beginning of the year, you have teams that you get favorites. You say, "Oh, this was a really great draft." And funny enough, I was looking last night cuz waiver wire, hopefully all your waiver wire dreams came true to everyone that was listening is listening. But I was looking through some of mine and I'm like, "Wow, the teams that I just thought were just going to be up a little bit short are doing a lot better than I expected." So it's always a fun change of pace, but that's where we're at. And it's time. Even GST, I was looking through those standings. You said it yesterday, but that is just bunched up right in the middle. I'm at 3-5, but you even said yesterday, you were like, well, you can keep going because there's really not that dominant team in even that league, which is shocking to me.
Yeah, there's like 5 teams at 5-3, and then
Yeah.
like 4 at 4-4. Now, that league, though, total points really matter a lot more.
Hmm.
So you could have a losing record and get in. And I advise people to do something like this in their leagues. I know it depends on the software, but what we do is the team with the best record is the number 1 seed. Then out of the remaining 11 teams, the team with the most points is the 2 seed and gets a
Yep.
bye. So you can have a losing record and be the 2 seed. Then the next 2 best records, and then out of the remaining teams, the most points for the final 2 spots. So I think you are like in the last playoff spot right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's because of
it's
points
close though.
scored.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but it's
it's
very
really close.
close. So I mean, yeah, the first place team in our league is 5-3. Like, that is
That's
just
crazy.
hard to believe. But I'm seeing that a lot across leagues. So it's one of those years, if you're fortunate enough, because think about this, right? You could have drafted a team: Jamar Chase, Jonathan Taylor, Jackson Smith, and Jigba. I
Yeah.
haven't seen it, but could you imagine a team like
Oh,
that?
I bet someone listening has it. Say
I'm
it
sure they
again.
do. That's
Jamar
Chase,
Chase,
Jonathan
Jonathan
Taylor,
Taylor.
Smith, and Jigba. It's
Send it in.
absolutely possible.
I know someone listening right now has that team
That's
because
a
it is
dominant
because
team.
that's a 1, 2, 3 round
Yeah.
one, round two, a 2, 3 turn. Then you go pick up JT at the turn, especially if you were drafting a little bit earlier in the season because he started to creep up a little bit. But I don't know, Adam. I never saw JT because where I picked most of the time this season was at the back half. It was at the 1, 2 turn. 10, 11, 12 was usually the spots that I had. And I didn't, you know what? And that's on me. I wish I had more of them, but I did not see him up there very often. It was more in the middle, that range where if you were drafting 6, 7, 8, that's usually probably where you got JT.
So
No, actually,
it
maybe a little bit
varies.
after him.
Yeah. So sometimes it
Yeah.
was middle of the second round, sometimes late. So the league I got him in, I think I had the third pick because I went CeeDee Lamb in the first, and Taylor
Yeah.
came back to me late second. So it varied. I did see, because I looked at a couple of drafts to see, like, oh wow, where did I pass on Taylor? And some of them he
How do you
went
do
like,
that to yourself? Don't do that.
look, the thing is
Torture.
so I liked Jonathan Taylor a lot, but obviously not enough because I wasn't aggressive. I think, and we've discussed this, the big factor with him was the quarterback situation for a
Mhm.
while. And then once it flipped to Daniel Jones, I think that's when I started to feel better because I felt he would get more involved in the passing game. We knew with Anthony Richardson, he would not catch a lot of passes as we saw last year. And then you did
Yeah.
have to worry about Richardson potentially stealing some goal line carries. And the Colts have obviously been way better than anyone thought. Even if you were the most optimistic Colts fan believer, you could not have envisioned this team being 7-1 right now. So
Mhm.
there were a lot of factors at play, but the thing last year to finish the year, he was really good. He had like what 4 straight 100-yard games. Health has also been a factor for him. He missed some time last year, but um, it's similar in a way. Is it comparable to Saquon Barkley last year in the sense that Barkley was going late first, early second, and people had doubts because of
Yeah.
the offense and also his lack of involvement in the passing game? That was one of the factors, at least for me, why I was a little bit skeptical of Barkley. Except Taylor was cheaper because Taylor is basically his numbers are similar to what Barkley was doing last year at this time.
Yeah, I mean it is. And we were talking about it last season, I remember, because Jonathan Taylor, you're right, just came up really strong in the back half of the season. And he was one that every single week, at some certain point, he was always in the winners column. We were saying, oh, this is great for anyone that drafted him that was patient. And we talked a lot about patience with him too, because it was not that way to start the year. And so to see what he's doing now, yeah, I wish like you just said, I wish I had more. And it's just one of those things. He's averaging like 27.1 fantasy points per game in full point PPR. And it's just not even close. Christian McCaffrey's behind him now. And then it's Bijan Robinson, Jahmyr Gibbs, James Cook. All the guys that we expected, at the top half, I think. Maybe James Cook. I know we talked back and forth about him. And it was never a conversation of James Cook not being a good player. It was just the conversation of regression. But then I think some of the bigger surprises for me, again, Saquon Barkley falling back so far. I think he's at 16 fantasy points per game right now, sitting at 10th, which is still not bad, but where you got him wasn't good. And then Javonte Williams, I think, is also another guy where didn't expect to be talking about him in a positive light, I should say, this late in the season. But here we are. He's inside the top 10 fantasy points per game.
Oh yeah, I
Some
whiffed
of
on
these
that.
running
I
backs are
whiffed on
just,
Javante
oh
badly.
my
Like I did
goodness.
not want him. And again, very cheap for him. It was ninth,
Yeah.
10th round for Javante. No one wanted him. Like anyone, there might have been some people who are a little bit higher, but no one wanted him. If they did, he wouldn't have been lasting to the ninth, 10th round. A lot of people had doubts on him, and you can understand why. He's been amazing. But with Jonathan Taylor, like I don't think people realize how great he was last year, too. He had 1,431 rushing yards last year and
Mm-hmm.
11 rushing touchdowns. He only caught 18 passes, and I think that was in 14 games, right? Yeah, 14
Yes.
games. So he had a great year last year as well, and obviously he's
Let me look at his stats. I
it was
mean,
great last year. 1,431 rushing yards on 303 carries, 11 touchdowns. The way he was being drafted, you wouldn't have guessed that.
no. And it was the quarter. Well, for me, it was the
Quarterback,
quarterback
yeah.
conversation. But
Mhm.
here's the thing that I just need to, that you look back and you say, okay, how can I do better in drafts next season? Once that changes, because the whole time we were saying, Adam, okay, if it is Daniel Jones, then we get to upgrade the whole offense. Because if it was
Mhm.
Anthony
Oh yeah.
Richardson, we said all the time, okay, this is a little bit tough. You downgrade, the offensive weapons, and Anthony Richardson has the chance, and usually is going to take away, some of those touchdowns on the ground from Jonathan Taylor, all this stuff. But once that changed, Adam, my mind should have also changed and said, you know what? I need to draft more of him because this offense. Well, now listen, I never thought this offense was going to be this good because I don't know a lot of people that did, but it's what they're doing right now. So far this season has been phenomenal. And Jonathan Taylor, I mean, we talked about the MVP conversation stuff. I think there's a really good reason why he should be involved in that conversation.
Yeah, the one thing is he doesn't play the Titans again though. He has 6
Oh,
touchdowns against
dang
the
it.
Titans this year.
How's their rest of season schedule? It has to be
For the
pretty good.
Colts, it is
Yeah.
definitely pretty good.
Let me
Let's
see. So
see.
the
So they got
next,
the Steelers, who have been
yep.
terrible. The Falcons, who again were great statistically, but we just saw the Dolphins run over them. They get the Chiefs. Obviously, that's the big test for them. The Texans, that's tough. Jacksonville, the Seahawks are pretty good defensively. 49ers are just banged up. Who knows what they look at then? And then Jacksonville in championship week.
That's not
At
bad.
least they avoid. So the second matchup against the Texans is January 4th. That's week 18. So we know a lot of people don't play fantasy championship. So avoiding the Texans that second time
Yeah.
for most fantasy leagues is huge.
And Seattle, Seattle be if they keep the pace that they're going with, some we talk about their defense being a little bit tougher, but that's week 15, and then like you said, San Francisco at 16 and Jacksonville, gosh, week
You know
17,
what's messed up
smash
though?
start.
The
Yeah,
Colts have not had a primetime game yet.
and I'm looking, so they
It's
get
gonna happen. So
well,
they're
they get the international game. Do you
right.
count that?
Not really. I mean,
I
it
don't
is a
either.
standalone, but some of you people on the West Coast might be sleeping and miss it.
Me. Well, no,
Right.
I won't,
You'll be
but
awake.
I'll be awake.
Uh,
They take on
I
Atlanta.
You would think the Colts Chiefs would be a game to flex, but the Chiefs
Yeah.
are in prime time so much, and I don't know if that game's protected. But they're gonna get flexed sometime late November, early December to they have to a Sunday
They
night
have
game.
to.
I mean, you can make Colts, Jacksonville, Colts, Seahawks certainly a possibilities.
Definitely. Well, and then they have, it looks like two left because, well, two, I
December
guess, total.
22nd is 8:15.
It's
Is that a Sunday?
8:15, December
Or that's a
22nd.
Monday?
Yeah, Monday. So that's San
Okay.
Francisco.
So yeah, so they at least they get a Monday game. But
They
I
get the
gotta figure
Monday
one of the
game.
other games get flexed to a
Yeah,
national spotlight.
It might be Seattle too,
Could
depending
be,
on
yeah.
that whole division is going to come. It feels like it's going to come down to the wire for a lot of them. So, San Francisco, what is going on? Why do
Injuries.
I know, but at this, how long have we not talked about Brock Purdy? It's been more than 4 weeks. I
Well,
just don't, sometimes I just don't understand how those guys just don't go on IR and we don't
yeah.
have better conversations.
I guess they don't expect him to miss as much time, and then the injury is worse than they think. What did
Yeah.
Shanahan say? He's not a long shot this week after saying last week he was a long shot. So
Yeah.
we're making slow improvement. So maybe by
What are we
week
doing?
17 he'll be back.
He's like, actually, he's a good deal. Yeah, the quote was not, quote, not a long shot for Brock Purdy to play in week 9. They
Encouraging.
need, I mean, it's been the toe injury. And at the beginning we said, well, okay, it's not as bad as Joe Burrow's turf toe injury that's keeping him out for almost the whole season. But man, this has been brutal for anyone that drafted Brock Purdy. Obviously, you've just kept your backup. But calling him day to day, and Mac Jones obviously now being day to day as well. He's been banged up a little bit too. Ricky Pearsall, Jawan Jennings, come on. What are we doing?
Yeah, Pearsall's been brutal.
Brutal.
I have him in a few leagues, been waiting on him, and it's that PCL. So
Hmm.
he's missed. Has he missed 5 games already? Like, so that's
It
one
has to
where,
be.
yeah, he
I can
last
check.
played on the 28th of September.
Jeez. And well, and he's been banged up. We talked about that last season, and even in college, if I remember correctly, from talking with Thor Nystrom from Fantasy Life, it's just, yeah, it's been absolutely brutal. And there's a change. We can go through this news. Change in New Orleans. So they are changing quarterbacks here. I don't know. We talked about this yesterday a little bit, saying that something's going to happen here in the next 24 hours, and it has. So the Saints are making a quarterback change. They're going over to Tyler Shough, and he's going to start versus a rested Rams team on Sunday. So we'll see how that goes. But Shough came in this past Sunday during the second half, and again they lost to Tampa Bay in that one. But he finished the game 17 to 30, 128 yards and 1 interception. Rushed a little bit, rushed 3 times for 12 yards. Also, I think he was sacked twice in this game as well. And looking through the stats, Adam, I mean, it's obvious that something has to change for the Saints. So this is probably the spot where they said, okay, we're getting to the halfway point of the season. They're 27th in total yards, 29th in points, 22nd in passing, and 28th in rushing. So, and they've turned the ball over 12 times this season. So they are just seeing what they have in their rookie, and we'll see what happens there. But I think to start, you have to downgrade some of the offensive pieces. Chris Olave was at least getting you some good fantasy points. Rashid Shaheed as well. I would say Alvin Kamara, but he hasn't been here the whole season, so we don't really have to downgrade him. But change of quarterbacks.
Yeah, look, the Saints obviously need to see what Chuck can do. It makes sense at this point. They're
Yeah.
going nowhere. Olave obviously has been the constant in this offense, getting a lot of targets. So you hope that continues. You do downgrade him. I think you're still starting him in most leagues this week, unless you're in a shallow format and deep at wide receiver. Shaheed, I think you can start as well. Again, you don't feel good about it. You just don't know how this is going to go. It is a
Yeah.
very tough matchup, though, against the Rams. This is a good defense. So that's the concern here. But those are really the two pieces you're looking at. I know there are people starting Alvin Kamara out there. I don't know why. I mean, for real,
It's been
like
brutal. I know. I know.
he's a name brand right now. He has done nothing. That's all you're starting him because of his name. Because if you covered up the name and you look at the stats, you'd be like, oh, this is Isiah Pacheco.
Oof.
You would.
Ooh,
I mean,
I
honestly.
know. I know.
He
It's
catches
just
more
been
passes than Pacheco, but not that many. Like, that was the one thing about Kamara you were hoping is he would catch a lot of passes. They would be playing from behind, and it just has not happened. He had 2 catches this past week. He also got banged up. He was banged up during that game as well. Look at the rushing yards. 31 rushing yards or
horrible.
fewer in 4 straight games. And
I know.
he was losing touches to Kendra Miller, who's out for the season. We did see Neal not get any carries last week, did catch a few passes, but it's just not good because the volume's not there for Kamara, and he only has 1 touchdown on the season. So to me, like, he's not RB3 at this point.
I know he said he doesn't want to be traded and that he'd go sip pina coladas if they did it, but man, I could really see it. I could see a team just at least wanting, just doing the name brand thing and just saying, well, I want Alvin Kamara on this team. And for some, I do think he would be an upgrade for even the career lows that we've seen so far this season. 3.6 yards per carry, Adam. That's the worst of his career, 5.4 yards per catch.
He's never been a big yards per carry guy either. So it's really the passing game with him. That's always been his strength, and you're not even getting that. So yeah, I mean, last year actually was 4.2, which actually was his best since 2020. So he's
Mhm.
never been a guy that you were counting on the ground. I bet you a lot of people would not know this. Kamara's never had a 1,000 rushing yard season.
I think I wouldn't have, I think I did know that, but it was in the very back of my mind,
Yeah,
to be
last
totally
year
honest.
actually was
Yeah.
his. Believe it or not, last year was his career high at 950. He's always been a guy that gets it done through the air. I mean, he had that stretch of 3 straight years of 81 receptions, and then he had to start his career 4 straight years of 81 receptions. The fourth year at 83. Even last year 68, but he's well off that pace. He lost a lot. He's not the same player anymore,
No.
and the offense doesn't help either. But what do you expect? A 30-year-old who's been relying on quick cuts and speed in his career, it's not there anymore.
This is what we talk about when we talk about the age cliff, though. I mean, it happens quickly, and all of a sudden, especially with the downgrade in offense, like you said, because it's not all on him, but a lot of it is when you're going through a change. You've got new coaches in there. You've got quarterback. You start with a different quarterback. Now you're going to a new one in week 9. But all that to say, I know we talked a lot about who is the backup on this team, and when you look at it, I still do think Devin Neal is worth rostering right now, even
Yes.
though not a great name. It's not a fun offense. It's someone that's going to be on your bench, and you're just going to continue looking at his fantasy points week in and week out and say, ugh, I want him to be my first cut. He didn't get a carry in week 8, but he was on the field for 45.1% of the Saints snaps. And so again, even if Alvin Kamara says he doesn't want to get traded, we know at the end of the day that this is a business. And if they can get anything in return for someone that looks like they have hit the age cliff right now in real life football and of course in fantasy football, I do think that they would consider it, at least consider it. But yeah, Devin Neal, someone that if he's out there or if your waivers haven't run or if someone dropped him, I could see people still dropping him. Even with the Kendre Miller stuff, he's done the rest of the season. This is worth a pickup for sure.
Yeah, I added him in a couple leagues last week, and he still could be out there.
Yeah.
You have to worry about the injuries. You have to worry about the potential shutdown as well, which we saw happen last year.
Can't believe Isiah Pacheco caught a stray in the first segment, Adam. Come on.
Well, I
You
mean,
got it.
just when he's running well, he gets a
Come
knee
on.
injury. I mean,
I
come
know.
on, man.
Let's
And
talk about it.
I
Yeah.
you didn't see that the end of the game, right?
No.
Because
If
when
it
the
was during
injury
the
happened, he was slow to get up. He limped to the sideline. They were examining him on the sideline, and he jumped up like he was fine and started getting all hyped up. That
Okay.
was probably the adrenaline, and then of course you
It's like put
hear
me back out there.
week to week MCL. So
So
just
disappointing.
look, the whole year with him has been very frustrating because when he looks good, they still go away from him near the goal line. I mean, he had 12 carries for 58 yards, 4.8 yards a pop, and he's just not involved in the pass game, not getting
Nope.
enough. They gave him his touchdown 2 weeks ago against Vegas. They said, "All right, here's your
They
touchdown. Now
said,
leave us alone.
now
We're not,
now
don't
you're
bother
good.
us the rest of the year." It's Kareem Hunt
They
going
said,
forward.
please stop bothering us. That's why this is a team. I don't know about you, but I do think the Chiefs are still going to be involved at in some capacity at the trade deadline. I don't know if it's for I
They
don't know if, but
should.
Kareem Hunt is still there. I will say Elijah Mitchell's there, and then Brashard Smith. Those are the other running backs on their roster right now.
And
But
they have been very reluctant to give Brashard Smith a bigger
yeah,
piece of
he's looked kind of good though when he has gotten the opportunities.
in the passing game, especially. But
Yes.
every time it looks like, because people have said, "All right, here we go, it's Brashard Smith time," it just gets worse. So week 6, he played 9% of the snaps. Week 7, it jumped to 35%. It was 13% this past week.
I'm still holding on to him just in
Oh, I
case.
am
I think it
too.
takes,
I'm
an
interested to
injury at this
see.
point, but
I'm assuming Pacheco is out this week. When they call
oh,
you
for
week to
sure.
week, you're out at least 1 week, if not 2. So with him out of the picture, is it mostly Kareem Hunt and Brashard Smith on passing downs, or you brought up the name Elijah Mitchell? Do we start
hmm
see him get involved?
Let's see where we rank these running backs. I want to see where some of these running backs rank midway through the season. We'll talk more about that Isiah Pacheco injury, but Adam said it. He is week to week with an MCL sprain, so make sure you go and pick someone up off the waiver wire. Got to talk about the Arizona Cardinals backfield. Yeah, we had a week where we didn't have to talk about them, but now we're back, Adam. Kamani Vidal, Chuba Hubbard. We're gonna break them all down here. Coming up next. Hope everyone is having a great start to their Wednesday here. Kendall, Valenzuela, Adam Ronis with you right here, Sirius XM Fantasy Sports Radio, breaking down everything you need to know for week 9. Don't ask Adam who he's starting in GST this week at the running back position because he might start crying. I said it's not that bad. Look at us. And then you go, actually, it is. And
It is absolutely horrendous. Like, I cannot believe the
Emmanuel
state.
Wilson.
Yeah, I
That's
mean,
bad.
Michael Carter, I have Ollie Gordon. It's bad.
Michael
This team is
Carter.
toast.
It's
Team with Puka and CeeDee Lamb
maybe we get
is in trouble.
Puka back this weekend.
He should. Yeah,
He
that's the
should.
expectation, right?
Yeah.
They think they're gonna see. They expect him to practice today. So
Okay. That's
let's
not,
let's hope that happens, and they're
cross our
telling us the
fingers.
truth.
They never lie to us. What are you talking
Oh no,
about?
no, they're
Everything's
very
fine.
honest. These teams.
No, everything's just fine. Speaking of Michael Carter, just this is a bit of smaller news, but saw a little bit of chatter with the Arizona Cardinals running backs, and just wanted to talk about some of these running backs where we rank them halfway through the season, close to halfway through the season. So Michael Carter, you'll see that. So the team released Michael Carter. I think that was a couple days ago or yesterday, whatever it was. But then, if you noticed, they also brought him back pretty quickly to the practice squad. So he's technically still on the team, still involved. I expect them to probably elevate him out off the practice squad. They can only do that 3 times though, right, Adam? I think it's 3 before they have to sign him to the active roster. But at the moment right now, it's looking like Bam Knight, Amari DiMercado, right? Especially though more towards Bam Knight, Zonovan Knight. If you are looking, at your roster, that's his actual first name, but we call him Bam Knight here. And he might be one that if you're looking for someone to lean on in week 9, he is probably being projected right now to be Arizona's lead option in this game. So again, Carter will probably have a role in the game plan if he's elevated again. Could be someone that you turn to if you're really desperate this week at the running back position. But yeah, before their week 8 bye, Knight had 14 carries, 57 yards against the Packers. Carter had 7 for 11. James Conner again out for the season. Benson still on IR. I think it's for at least one more week, and then we can see if they're going to bring him back. But yeah, Knight might be someone that you're looking at flexing or having to start this week.
And it's a good spot. He's going up against
spot.
the Dallas Cowboys on Monday night, and the Cowboys have allowed the 3rd most fantasy points to the running back position. We just saw J.K. Dobbins and R.J. Harvey run all over them. The only team that really hasn't been able to run on them this year was Washington 2 weeks ago. But yeah, I think with Bam Knight, you can start him this week against the Cowboys.
Cowboys aren't good, but it's fun to watch. At least you score fantasy points. They're allowing the 7th most fantasy points to the running back position. So I think Knight's going to be inside my top 25 this week just because of that. But our rankings are live at fantasylife.com. So you could go pick him up. Just kidding. I know he's not available. It's fine.
Yeah,
You're
probably
going to be
not,
fine.
unless someone dropped him with the 6 teams on bye, but more than likely not.
I was talking about you. You could go pick him up, but
Oh,
I know
yeah,
he's
no,
not there either.
he's not there. I mean, if he did, I'd
You go
spend
ahead and
everything
start.
I have left.
It stinks though because Emmanuel Wilson is a good stash play, but not needing to
No, not you want
needing
to start, unless
Not needing
Jacobs
to
is on
start.
the injury report this week.
Well, don't say that.
He's
You
been
don't
banged
like
up
that.
though.
He
Jacobs
has,
does
but
not
he
look
but
the
he doesn't
same.
care. He's just
I
like, I'm
know,
still gonna put fantasy points out there.
but
He has.
it's gonna catch up at some
Don't
point.
say that.
It will. Like,
Oh my gosh.
do you see the way he's playing?
He's averaging 19.5 fantasy points per game right now.
Yeah. What's the
Good for
yards per
7th.
carry?
Don't
It
have that in front of
sucks.
me.
It's because it's not good. He's been
Where is the
struggling.
yards?
It's
Yeah, I don't have. Oh, here it is.
3.6.
Yeah, it's not good.
He's been relying on touchdowns. He has 9 touchdowns this year. He scored in every game except one. Even last week, he was 13. Look at the last 2 weeks: 13 for 33 and 13 for 55. I mean, the injuries are catching up to him. The volume has decreased. 14 and 16 touches. He's banged up. He's trying to play through it.
He is banged up. They play the Packers play the Panthers this week, and then they go at home against the Eagles. Then they play the Giants. So Still, that's why we say though it's so important. I've seen a lot of people, especially in my college league. I was gonna message them, but then I just said I'll just pick these guys up. And I know sometimes that it's a point in the year, Adam, where you have to start cutting guys, that are just not able to help you right now, so you can add someone that gets you fantasy points immediately. But those those backup running backs, those handcuffs are so still valuable because you're going to start to see it. You just mentioned it with Josh Jacobs, who, yes, is still getting you fantasy points, but every single week we've been talking about him on the injury report coming into the games. Just hang on to them if you can. Or if you see people dropping them, an Emmanuel Wilson, some of these other guys, pick them up because this is where we start to see the weight of the season so far, the weight of the carries, the weight of the workload really come down on some of these running backs. And so I've picked a couple up over the last couple of weeks, guys that had just been cut.
Yeah, it's important because one injury can make that backup running back a starter, and it's nice to have them on your roster so you don't have to go out and spend a lot of money off the
Exactly.
waiver wire.
Exactly. Where do we rank this running back halfway through? Jaylen Warren. He's basically near every down running back, and I think Dwayne mentioned this in his utilization report, which is live at fantasylife.com. Potential buy low candidate for Jaylen Warren as well. 65% snap share, 70% rush share, 12% target share, and 12.6 fantasy points per game. He's got a good utilization score of 76. And historically, this is what Dwayne does with that utilization report. But the comparisons have usually averaged 14.7 points for the rest of the season. So 30% of them become an RB1 to RB12. 65% though more RB13 to RB24 range, which is still really, really good. He's my mid-range RB2 this week. He always is carrying to me low-end RB1 upside. So still Jaylen Warren has been a really, really nice guy. If you were able to get him later in drafts, he's been really good for your fantasy teams.
Yes, I think he's in a good spot right now with the volume he's getting. The only thing that is really lacking is the touchdowns for him, but those obviously can increase going forward. And he's not this name value player that people think
No.
highly of. So you might be able to get him at a decent discount. And, he is involved in the passing game as well. But yeah, no rushing touchdowns on the season, one receiving
Yeah.
touchdown, which came back in week one.
That changes this week, right? We can
Does
be
it?
positive about, well, yeah, we can manifest it. Where were they? I don't even have the Steelers schedule up in front of me right now. They played the
This
Colts.
week, yeah, the Colts. Yeah. Colts have been more susceptible against the
Yeah.
pass. So they got, I mean, that totals 50.5, only because the Steelers defense has been awful. And obviously the Colts offense is rolling every single week. So you got to hope that he can do something in the passing game.
This is not a good fantasy playoff schedule for them, though. They
No, that's why
play,
they're not favored to win the division, even though they're 4-3, and the 2-5 Ravens are favored.
they start the 15th, week 15, I should say. They go up against the Dolphins, which is good, but then they have the Lions on the road and they have the Browns on the road. Woof.
Yeah, you just hope that Warren could do it in the passing game, which he is involved in. So uh, that's the other part is too. They've been winning some games, so the game script has been in their favor.
Yeah.
That's probably going to change going forward.
Aaron Jones. We saw Aaron Jones return, and we saw a ton of questions on him yesterday. Again, if you have questions for us, at Valenzuela 17, at Adam Ronis over there on X, but he actually outsnapped Jordan Mason 53% to 34%. Again, we know that this was a trailing game script, so that has a little bit to do with it here for the Minnesota Vikings. Also, we're going to get JJ McCarthy tomorrow. Is that tomorrow? No.
No,
They're
Vikings
not prime
played
time.
last
No,
Thursday.
that's right. Oh my gosh. I'm telling you, this game, that Monday game, is still messing me up. I don't know how you go this long with no sleep. It's going to affect me all week. But yeah, Aaron Jones coming back, obviously, he did all right. He had a 61 utilization score. He was tied for second on the team in target share at 14%. Where do you have him right now? He's a mid-range RB3 for me, but I did have to downgrade Jordan Mason here because of his return.
Yeah, I think they're both RB3s right now just because you saw what happened last week when they were trailing. It was more Aaron Jones. It was a disaster game for the entire offense.
Yeah.
Mason only 4 carries for 3 yards. But it doesn't look like it's going to be any better this week. They are on the road in Detroit. They are 9.5 point underdogs. And with McCarthy likely at quarterback, the offensive line has been a problem. I mean, that's the reason why Carson Wentz has like 17 injuries and is out for the year.
That is really bad that they kept him out there. I mean,
Yeah.
it's horrible.
So this probably sets up as a better game for Aaron Jones, because if you think that this script is going to play out like Vegas does, or like most of us do, that means they'll be playing from behind, and that would mean more Aaron Jones. Where again, Jordan Mason is really dependent on a touchdown at this point. He will get the goal
Mhm.
line carries, but he's not going to be heavily involved in the passing game. So you just hope that McCarthy can come in there and at least give some life to the offense. So that's what we're watching. But this definitely seems like it's more an Aaron Jones week.
Yeah, Jordan Mason in 3 games where Aaron Jones and Mason have been together this season, Jordan Mason has averaged 5.3 PPR points. It's not been great. And he did all right. He had good games when we didn't see Aaron Jones in the mix, but in the 4 games without Aaron Jones, he had 14.3 PPR points per game, was handling 66.7% of the running back touches from weeks 3 to 7. It's just he's got 1.6 points per reception for fantasy points. That is just not good.
Yeah, it definitely isn't, and
Man,
and the Vikings offense hasn't lived up to expectations too. We
no
always
kidding.
thought whatever whoever the quarterback is under O'Connell, they've been able to have success. That has not been the case this year, and it has taken the offense down. I mean, Justin Jefferson's another example. I mean, Justin
Oh yeah.
Jefferson's way lower than what you're expected to see from him. I mean, there's a handful of receivers that you'll easily take over him right now.
Yeah, and a Detroit defense, like you said, they're allowing the 4th fewest PPR points per game to running backs. So again, low upside option, but one that I know a lot of people are just going to have to go with because of all the injuries and because of the 4 teams on a bye going into this week. We're going to continue on. I've got panic meter, Adam. Where are we panicking on some of these players?
Yes.
Probably because we're talking to you, and we're always panicking when we do that. But I want to talk through a little Sam LaPorta, a little bit more about Jordan Mason, and more here coming up next. Oh, yeah, we are right here getting you ready for week 9 across the NFL and for your fantasy teams. FantasyLife.com is also getting you ready, is there for you 100% of the time. So make sure you go over there. Use that code, though, that we've been telling you, FantasyLife.com/Comet, COMET. When you go and download that AI powered browser, it takes about 2 minutes. You get Fantasy Life Plus for free for a whole calendar year. So make sure you go over there, FantasyLife.com/Comet, COMET. That deal is only available for another couple of days. So take advantage of it right now and go check that out. Adam, I didn't even look at X, at Twitter. Of course, people were sending us there. We asked if people had teams with one Jamar Chase, Jackson Smith and Jigba, and Jonathan Taylor. And oh my goodness, we have some of them. Dario has one. 12, and that's a 12-team league. So he has Patrick Mahomes. Oh, the injury bug though. Cam Skattebo, Jonathan Taylor. That's a good team. Jackson Smith and Jigba, Jamar Chase, Travis Kelsey. Ugh. Having Patrick Mahomes though, right now as your quarterback, that's one that I just in that range, I just kind of passed on him. Didn't usually take any quarterback because he was going around, the Baker Mayfields, Patrick Mahomes. Who else was in that range this
Bo
past year?
Nix.
Bo Nix. Yeah, I didn't have much Bo Nix. Shout out to Dave. Dave has one. Scott has a really good team that's dominating. All these teams are great. And Scott said his is 12 team as well. Oh man, I'm jealous.
Yeah, I am too. Mahomes, I
These are
had quite a
amazing.
bit last year, so I was a year early because all those
So
guys got hurt last
naturally,
year. Yeah.
naturally, you don't have them this year.
No, I don't.
Ah, perfect.
I mean,
You hate when that happens.
yeah, it's the worst because last year just everyone got hurt, and now it's all coming together. Where once you get Rice back from suspension, everyone's healthy and good to go. And yeah, it wasn't a great game for them this past week. The first half was a struggle, but second half they turned it on, and another 3 touchdown game for Mahomes, and it's going to
Mm-hmm.
continue because again, they really have not had a lot of success on the ground. Mahomes is running too, so that's the biggest thing. He's got his weapons, he's running, and the best thing though, if you do have players from Kansas City, because I think almost everyone, most people consider the Chiefs to be the best team in the NFL right now. I know
Yeah.
I do. I believe you do as well.
Yep.
They are still third in the division, so they need to. They can't go lightly here. They have to make a push. So they're a game behind Denver. They're tied with the Chargers at 5-3, but the Chargers beat them. So the Chargers are technically ahead of them right now. So that's what's crazy is I believe the Ravens have better odds to win the division now than the Chiefs, which is
Really?
insane. Yeah, I mean, because again, the Chiefs are third place. They're only a game out of first. Uh, I still think the Chiefs are winning the division. You could have gotten them at a much better price though a couple weeks ago. We talked about it,
We
and
did.
it was like easy to see them winning the division. But yeah, I believe the Ravens do have a better number to win the division right now. I'm gonna double check that real quick. But
It's just
yeah, it's
crazy how good that team has looked, the Chiefs. To think at any point that they started 0-2 and we had, we were talking about potential concerns with them, they just said, no, just wait a second. We're going to be fine. So
Oh no,
shout out to,
they
oh,
have the
yeah,
same odds right now on DraftKings. The Chiefs are minus
really?
130 to division. The Ravens are minus 130. I mean, the Ravens have better odds to win the division than the Bills. Ravens are minus 130, Bills are minus 140.
That's crazy.
Well, the Bills are a half game out of first, to be fair.
The
Behind
the two and
Patriots.
five Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah. Just
I mean,
insane.
they face,
Ooh, some
I don't
breaking
know,
news here.
I know, I saw
You
it.
saw it? Okay, go ahead.
It goes in with the panic meter.
Okay.
See what we do? See,
Yeah.
Ian
Oh, you just
Rappaport, wait, you
predicted
know
that
what?
this news was going to break
Ian
during this segment.
Rappaport said, you know what, we have to wait for Kendall and Ronis to talk about the panic meter because I did put Jamar Chase on here. And
Mhm.
Jamar Chase was more, I put in parentheses, Jamar Chase is really damn good. So it's not a panic meter on him, but we're talking right now about Joe Flacco. So the breaking news here is that Joe Flacco is dealing with an AC joint sprain in his throwing shoulder. His status is up in the air for Sunday going up against the Bears. So again, Flacco left in that loss to the Jets, came back late. Jonathan Taylor, wow. Zach Taylor, head coach, maybe Jonathan Taylor too, but called him day to day. Jake Browning, who we know Jake Browning. He did not step up to the plate like we saw in 2023. He would be the guy that steps up. Jamar Chase, this is why I say panic meter here, has 43 combined targets in weeks 7 and 8. I mean, he is on a crazy pace where you know that if Joe Flacco's out there, he's just gonna say at some point, "Hey, Jamar Chase is down there somewhere. I'm just gonna throw it up to him." If they do not have Joe Flacco in this game this week, and I think it's a conversation of too, since they lost that game, really, can they make the playoffs? We said that they would have to really be close to winning out for us to see Joe Burrow again. So they're in a really tough spot when they lost that game to the Jets. This is a really bad update, and you have to hope that Joe Flacco is out there, or else everyone gets downgraded on this offense.
Yeah, this would be absolutely brutal. Just when you thought, hey, here we go, Jamar Chase, he's back. Now you see this. Now, to be fair, the last game that Browning played with Chase, Chase had 10 targets, 6 for 110, and 2 touchdowns. And that was against Detroit. But with Flacco in there, I mean, it is
It's been insane.
54 targets the last 3 games, at least 10 catches in all of them. It's in 28 receptions the last 2 weeks,
Mm-hmm.
38 the last 3 weeks. So you're not getting that with Browning because the one thing we've seen with Flacco is they'll drop him back 40, 45 times to pass. Probably not going to do that with Browning. So they do play, I think, the Bears this week, right? Because I was looking and I'm like, I got to start Caleb
Yeah, they
Williams this
do.
week
The Bengals are
because,
at home as well.
yeah, so the Bears are 2.5 point favorites right now, and the total's 52.5. So, yeah, he did injure it late, as you said. Jake Browning was
Mm-hmm.
warming up. I'm trying to remember, did Browning even come in for a couple snaps?
I
I
can't remember. I
Let me
didn't see
see.
it
I'm gonna
on Red
double
Zone,
check.
so I don't think he
I don't.
did,
No,
but
he did not. But he was warming up. I remember
yeah.
that he was warming up, and uh, he didn't enter the game. But we knew that at that point, Flacco was dealing with something, and as is always the case, sometimes 2, 3 days later, the pain increases, and it becomes a problem. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's just not good for the entire offense. Uh,
You know what's worse? Can I say
what?
something that might not be great? And I'm the optimistic one
Yeah.
here. They've got to buy in week 10. So
Okay.
maybe they
Oh
hold Joe
yeah,
back.
sit. But even
But
so,
they
like
need to
there's
win though. That's the other thing that's hard to talk about the Bengals is because they, for other teams we'd say, "Oh, okay, well they have a bye in week 10, so they'll probably sit their quarterback like just how we talked about Lamar and all these other Brock Purdy, whatever." But Cincinnati is in a different spot because they have to continue winning. I mean, there's a whole conversation going on right now, Adam, as if they blew it last Sunday, that they needed to win that game in order to
well, to
continue
be
on.
fair though, you are correct, but the division is leaving things open. Everyone is anointing the Ravens as the team to beat, and because Lamar Jackson is coming back and playing tomorrow,
Hmm.
but they still have to go out there and win games. So the Bengals are still there because of the division. I mean, they're only a game and a half behind the Steelers, and they've already beaten
Yeah,
Pittsburgh once. Now, if Flacco's out, then it becomes a challenge. And also, their defense is so bad. I mean, they gave up 40 to the Jets,
it's horrible. It's so
39, whatever it
bad.
was.
It's
So,
really, and I think Trey
yeah,
Hendrickson is hurt as well.
yes, yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's just bad. In Flacco's three starts though for the Bengals, Chase has had at least 10 receptions and 90 receiving yards in each. And there was a stat since 1970, only Calvin Johnson had a longer a streak of reaching those thresholds right there. So it's just crazy. And again, that defense or I should say Chicago's secondary, really he can exploit those guys. And so I really hope Flacco's good to go because that is just and if you have him, right, Adam, just go pick someone up. Have a backup ready to go.
Yeah, again, and you got to worry about your skill players on the Bengals. I mean, look,
Hmm.
you hope that Browning can come in and maybe resurrect what he did 2 years ago.
That'd
But
be
from what we
nice.
saw so far, it was not working. Yes, the offensive line isn't good, but Flacco, there's that veteran that just got the ball out quick.
We'll keep an eye on this one. Again, Joe Flacco, it looks like he is more considered, his status is up in the air, I should say. They called him day to day right after that game on Sunday, but now up in the air going up against the Bears. So we'll see how the practice reports come out later this week and see if he's going to be good for week 9. Make sure to go pick someone up if you have him. We're going to continue on. We're going to keep panicking and go through some panic players. Where's our panic meter out for them and some quarterback and defensive streamers that you can go look at here. We're going to do that coming up next. How much are we panicking on these players? We already had to unfortunately go through Joe Flacco, who again, status is up in the air when we're talking about this coming Sunday, week 9. We'll have to keep an eye on that one. Adam might have to start a tight end in his super flex
I mean,
spot.
it's insane, man.
That's crazy.
Like
I
every
mean,
quarterback I picked up got hurt or lost a job. I mean, when you draft Joe Burrow in the first round and you lose him, was that week 1 he got hurt? I forgot. Or
if it wasn't, it had to be close.
I can't remember now. I
Let me
mean,
look now.
it was
It's
week
been
1
so
or week
long.
2. I can't remember.
I got it. Anyway, your
It was
team. I
week
mean,
2. Week 2 he got hurt against Jacksonville. So, yeah, when
yeah.
you draft him in round 1 in a superflex league, it is so difficult to overcome that cuz again, in that league I didn't even draft a third quarterback. So,
Yeah, because why would you? I
no,
mean,
I'm actually okay. I've said this now. It burned me this year. It's worked in the past. I'm okay. You obviously need both quarterbacks to stay healthy,
mhm.
but especially if you get an elite one like Joe Burrow, I'm fine not getting a third. The problem is people always overpay for that third quarterback. They take him in round 8, round 9, and I'm not willing to do that.
Yeah.
Uh, Last year I did take 3, and it worked out because the third one was Sam Darnold, and he wound up being my 2. So yeah, but if you're like your elite quarterback goes down in a super flex league, it's really difficult to come back from it. I mean, you can. I have a winning record, but it's a challenge right now, and yeah, it's not fun.
But shout out to you with your winning record with starting
Yeah, for
Bryce
now, but
Young
it
and
doesn't. Yeah,
Tyler
Bryce Young
Shough
and Carson
and
Wentz,
jeez,
Spencer
ew.
Rattler.
That's
Yeah,
incredible,
I
really.
mean,
I
look,
think it's more of a shout out.
someone did drop Justin Fields, and I picked him up last week, but now he's on bye.
Well, you go get him. Just hang on to him,
Yeah, I
right?
will. Yeah.
It can't get worse. Just
It
kidding.
can. It really
It
can.
probably
No, when
could.
they in the super flex league, when you got the bottom of the barrel, oh yeah, it can't get worse.
Probably could. Hey, panic meter. I just saw this stat on Sam LaPorta. Not that I don't know if we're panicking on LaPorta, but I saw that he only has 4 red zone targets this season. I think that's when we're looking at Tucker Kraft has 11, Tyler Warren has 9, Mason Taylor, Harold Fannin, David Njoku, those guys all have more than him. So not necessarily a panic, but I just thought that this was a good spot to put him. Haven't talked about him a ton this season, but
For
right now
good
he's
reason.
11. Well, it's true, 11 in fantasy points per game. He's sitting there at 10.7.
Yeah, I think you have to worry about him because basically what we're seeing in this offense, the two consistent players you can count on are Jahmyr Gibbs and Amon-Ra St. Brown. After
Yep.
that, you can't. It's going to be LaPorta's going to have down games. When the offense is rolling and they're up big, he's just not going to be heavily involved. And he only has 2 touchdowns on the season. You mentioned the lack of red zone targets. Look how many games. Look at these targets. Outside of week 1, we had 9, 4, 4, four,
It's
6,
bad.
6, 3. It's a
Yeah.
problem. It's just the offense has not spread the ball around. It's condensed. It's not the same as it was under Ben Johnson. It's just not. So yeah, Laporta's just going to have a lot of weeks where he gives you 4, 5, 6 points.
It's so disappointing. And it's one of those things where, again, lack of red zone targets means that you have to look at his upside and you have to just bring down expectations because that's where it's at. And having 4 red zone targets this season is just, it's bad. And same with, I mean, Jamison Williams. What are we doing?
Absolutely brutal.
That's been a bad pick too.
Good
All
thing
right,
they
we're
paid
gonna
him. Follow the money, they say.
follow the money. That's what they say. That's what we say. We're going to the water cooler, answering your questions here coming up next. It is about that time. Time for the Fantasy Life Water Cooler. Welcome in. Kendall, Valenzuela, Adam, Ronis with you right here, ready to take all your questions that you have leading up to week 9. So make sure you send them in at KValenzuela17 over there, or you can call in 888-963-2682 is the phone number. Press that new call-in button on the Sirius XM app as well if you have that option available, because we're here to help you. And we know that there's a lot of questions going into this weekend again. And as always, fantasylife.com is here to help you as well. So when you go over there, you've got all of our projections, all of our rankings, our newsletter, which is 100% free, and I recommend signing up for. It's in your inbox every single morning. And I've told you before, make sure you go to fantasylife.com/Comet. Comet is an AI-powered browser, and all you need to do, takes about 2 minutes, is download this browser. There is a step-by-step tutorial if you need help on it. But you go to fantasylife.com/Comet, COMET. Once you download that, you get everything for free. You get Fantasy Life Plus for free. So if you've been waiting around for a little bit, maybe the holidays are coming up, you're like, oh, this could be a nice little gift. You can go and get that done. So fantasylife.com/Comet gets you everything 100% free for the next calendar year. So make sure you go and take advantage of that. Super excited for that partnership. Anything else, Adam? I think we're good. We're ready to go. We've got some news. Well, we've got a little bit of news. You mentioned, well, no, let me start up top here. Let me start with the Saints just making a quarterback change. So Tyler Shough is going to start against the Rams on Sunday. We're not necessarily recommending you go pick him up unless you're in a super flex league like Adam, where he is starting absolutely no one at the quarterback position. Maybe you go and pick him up. But this is probably a turn that we saw coming a little bit, especially the last 2 weeks. Spencer Rattler had only turned the ball over once in the first 6 games, and then he lost the ball 6 times in 6 quarters. So it's a team where they're 27th in total yards, 29th in points, 22nd in passing, and 28th in rushing. Just not a strong team, not a good team this season so far, Adam. So why not turn to Tyler Shough, see what you have there? And again, we're only talking about starting him in super flex formats, and that is if you have guys on a bye or if you've got the injuries that have been piling up so far this season. But expectations are probably a little bit lowered for guys like Chris Olave, Rashid Shaheed, just to start things off. Maybe he surprises us, but right now I am going to lower expectations, and they're just down in my rankings a little bit.
Yeah, I still think you're going to start Olave pretty much everywhere.
Yeah.
Shaheed, more of a conversation. Again, with Kamara, I think he's more RB3. I think most rankings will have him RB2, but he just hasn't done nothing. Maybe Shough comes in and does target him more in the passing game, but probably not. I mean, that's something we've seen in the Kellen Moore offense. We saw it with Barkley last year, right? Just wasn't really targeted in the
Yeah.
passing game. So, uh, and yeah, until we see Shough go out there, I mean, you do have to lower expectations.
Yep, you absolutely do. So that's one that we had to get to. And then Isiah Pacheco, again, he is week to week with an MCL sprain. So again, I don't know, with the trade deadline approaching, maybe we see something here with the Kansas City Chiefs, Adam, but I feel like we say that every single season, and they don't need to get anything done. They have Kareem Hunt. What is there to worry about at all when you have someone like Kareem Hunt? You also have Elijah Mitchell on this squad and Brashard Smith, all 3 of those guys currently on their roster. But Pacheco, again, went off the field with a limp the 4th quarter, I think is what you said. Looked like he popped back up, but again, he's week to week. When we've got a week to week designation this early, Adam, we can almost assume, unless things change and things go really well this week, that he's probably going to be out for week 9. He hasn't done much this season. He's got 1 touchdown, 8 games this year. He's rushed for 329 yards. Just been Yeah, really disappointing. I was excited. I have him in a couple leagues just because thought it was more of a discounted thing where people were taking into consideration that, hey, he missed a lot of the 2024 regular season with the leg fracture. He's coming back. But obviously, the Chiefs, they weren't using him the way that I thought they would. And now he's down with an injury. So it makes it even worse.
Yeah, I only have him in one league, but it's a league where I have no running back. So this is,
Perfect.
yeah, brutal for me. But they just seem reluctant to increase the workload. I mean, his snap counts were starting to go up a little bit. We saw the last 3 weeks, 77%, 56, and 58. Kareem Hunt's still in around 30% range. Brashard Smith has only been over 30% one time this year, and that
Yeah.
was in week 7. But they already have a running back on their roster, and it's Patrick
Patrick
Mahomes.
Mahomes. Yeah,
Yeah.
there we go. What more could you need when you have a quarterback like that? So it's again one of those things where if you have Isiah Pacheco week to week with that MCL sprain, so we'll see if he's good to go. Same thing with Joe Burrow here. This is news that we got just a few minutes ago that his status is up in the air for this weekend. So again, if you have Joe Burrow as your quarterback in
Burrow?
any, what did I say, Burrow? Oh my
Yes, you did.
gosh, Flacco. I'm telling you, I don't know how you get zero sleep, Adam. I'm still. This is horrible. You had no sleep last night. Look at you.
Yeah, I'm
You're
fine.
fine.
Yeah.
A doctor, any kind. So maybe we need a partnership with a pillow company. I don't know.
Oh,
Maybe
yeah,
you need
that's
a new
good.
pillow.
Perfect.
Oh, pillows are kind of expensive too, by the way.
What isn't expensive
Well,
nowadays?
okay. I don't know.
Is there
I well,
anything inexpensive now?
let's go. So let's get you a coffee sponsorship and then a pillow, and that'll be
Yeah.
perfect. Anyway,
Pillow,
not Joe Burrow.
mattress, bed, whatever.
Flacco.
Any one of
What am I
those.
doing? What's
Yeah, I don't
going on
know.
here?
I don't know.
Jeez, woof. Anyway, Flacco. I didn't say him the whole time though, right?
You said it
Whatever.
twice.
Oh, jeez. Flacco is, well, obviously Joe Burrow's questionable for this one too. No, just kidding. He's down now, but Joe Flacco is, his status is up in the air for this game. So if you do have him, hopefully you have a backup option here. I'm just hoping he's able to go, Adam, because again, it's going to be a downgrade for everyone on this offense, but more specifically Jamar Chase. T. Higgins will probably be the guy, though, that gets the biggest hit. He was borderline unstartable when we were talking about him in there with Jake Browning. So if Jake Browning is the guy that gets the start, of course, you still have Jamar Chase. He's probably going to be one that you play anyways, just because it's Jamar Chase. You might not have better options. But through those weeks that we had Browning, T. Higgins was the guy that was really impacted by his poor play.
He was impacted last week with Flacco, a quarterback, one catch for 44 yards. We got lucky that it was a touchdown, but man, he said, "Forget you, Higgins. I'm going to Chase."
I'm
Only
going to my
two
best
targets.
friend.
Like, come on. So, but yeah, look. We just seen Browning this year. It has not been good. It's been a major struggle for the team to move the football. You also have to be worried about Chase Brown. We were having the
Yep.
discussion about how Flacco has opened things up for Chase Brown, and just when you were feeling good about him, even with Samaje Perine cutting in to his workload. So you just got to hope that maybe Browning being out a couple weeks, watching things, can just say, all right, I'm going to do what Flacco did, get the ball out quicker and make sure I focus on Chase and Higgins. But until we actually see it, yeah, if Browning is the starter this week, it's not ideal.
It isn't because we were talking with Dwayne yesterday about how Joe Flacco, he said, is the tide that lifts all ships, and you've seen it with more specifically Chase Brown, because 3 games with him in there, Brown has averaged 15.5 points with a 68 utilization score, and we know how the beginning of the season went when he wasn't in there. So he has a 68 utilization score over the last 3 games. Chase Brown does, and his historical comparisons have averaged 13.1 fantasy points, which we will take. Again, it's not the best spot where you took him, right? He's obviously not going to be someone that pays off his ADP this season, but he did upgrade to a borderline RB2 in my rankings. Now, if we get this news that Joe Flacco isn't able to play, then he's going to go down. He needs more opportunities anyway to move up. That's just overall, whether it's with Flacco, whether it's with Jake Browning this weekend, he just needs a little bit more to be able to move into the mid-range RB2 range, but it's just something where everyone's a downgrade if we don't see him. It's unfortunate.
Yeah, because we've already seen a stretch this year with Browning, and it was not good.
Maybe he'll be better, like you said. Maybe he'll be
It's
2023
possible.
version. Maybe he's mad. Maybe he's angry.
This
He's
was
like,
the
gotta prove it.
smelling salt he needed to wake
Smelling
up.
Have you done those, by the way?
No,
Smelling salt.
they're doing them
Should
all.
we try it? Should we try
Have you
them?
seen these players doing it a lot now on the field?
Oh, are they on the field?
Yeah. Remember, there was a rule.
Remember when they banned them for like a
Right.
week?
No, they said they're banned I think the team can't give them out, but they can have
Oh,
them on
they
their
can just
own.
go. That's weird.
Yeah.
I saw Mina Kimes try one on a podcast.
You saw
We
someone do it on a podcast?
Yeah, Mina Kimes had to try
Oh,
them.
really?
For the science.
Okay.
See what it felt like. It
Maybe
doesn't look fun. No, I'm
can
not
you
doing
do
it.
it? Maybe it'll
No.
wake you up.
Well, okay, maybe it will. No, I'm not wanting to try that because you'd have to go solo the rest of the way. There's no chance.
No, it wouldn't work.
No.
Okay.
I'm sure it would work, and then I would just you wouldn't see me the rest of the show, I guess. So I don't know. There's no chance I'm going to try that on this show. We've got breaking news here. Not, we don't usually go through defensive players here, but it is big for Aiden Hutchinson. Looks like he did agree with the Lions to a 4-year extension. We know that injury that he had last season was just absolutely brutal for this team, so they were excited to get him back. We've been kind of waiting on this, seeing when that would happen. But yeah, it's a 4-year contract extension per his agent. Don't have any numbers on that one, but good for them. Locked down a really good piece of that team.
Yeah, and they had a lot of health issues on the defensive side of the football last year, which prevented them from making that run. And they've been really good this year. Look like
Yep.
one of the best teams in the NFC.
Speaking of extensions, there have been no contract talks with George Pickens. That's the other thing I wanted to put out here. Not because you're a Cowboys fan, but I do think it's a really interesting conversation with George Pickens because it was a 2026 third round pick and a 2027 fifth round pick for Pickens, and I think a sixth as well. They're only paying him $3.65 million this season, but he's in the final year of his contract. So he's due a pay raise. Whether it's with the Cowboys or not, that's going to be the big question. So again, I think he's projected I have to look at what some of the numbers are for next season in the open market and everything else like that. But do you think that they sign him long term? Do you think they keep him or no?
I would think yes, but I have no idea with Jerry Jones nowadays what is going on. So, and the other factor is though we've seen it. They did it with Jamar Chase and T Higgins. When you pay two receivers like that, it hurts your team. Like it's gonna bring you down. Look, the Cowboys have one of the best offenses in the NFL. Where are they right now? Right, they're
Yeah.
not making the playoffs. Their defense is a disaster, and it's the same thing with the Bengals. So that's the one issue. Do I want Pickens? Of course. Who would say no? But when you pay someone like if he gets paid similar to Higgins, right? You would think that's where he is in that area, right? Higgins is 4 years,
Probably.
115 mil. So yeah, it's tough.
And like you said, they have way bigger needs on the defensive side than they do
Yeah.
on offense. It's just
But
and
Pickens has helped this offense to
he
another
has.
level, and he was great when CD Lamb was out.
But the player designation for wide receivers projected to be 28 million.
Yeah, that's a
And
lot.
he's probably likely going to get more than 30 per season on when we talk about the open market and everything else. Like if he doesn't get this done.
Also, we still have 8, 9, 10 weeks to go. He could have an outburst and ruin everything. So he's been very good so far.
He has been. I don't think it's a long it's I guess it is a long shot, but I don't the trade deadline's next Tuesday. If a team came to them with a big, with saying, "Hey, we're going to give you all this for Pickens because we need him," I wouldn't rule that out.
It's certainly possible. They're what 2.5 games out of first. And
3, 4, and
realistically,
1.
yeah, realistically, they're not winning this division. So even if they won this week, they'd be two out. I don't know. Like, I don't see this team really going anywhere with this defense. They just cannot stop anyone.
It's horrible. 31st in total defense, 31st in points allowed.
Who's
Woohoo.
32nd? The Bengals?
Has to be. I don't have it in front of me. I
Miami?
just wrote those
Probably
notes
the
down.
Bengals.
It's bad. It's not good. So George Pickens is the guy that we'll watch out for. And then just a couple injury updates, or I should say surgery updates. Malik Nabers finally had his ACL surgery. That was on Tuesday. And then Cam Skattebo also had his surgery. They said it was successful. He suffered a fractured fibula, ruptured ligament, and a ruptured ligament in addition to his dislocated ankle. So his timeline looks like it's 4 to 6 months. That puts him on track to be good to go for OTAs. And Malik Nabers, I mean, it was week 4 when he went down. They had to wait a long time for the swelling to be able to go and repair his injury. So they said he has a good timeline as well. But just wanted to shout out that he did not get that surgery right away. So that just happened on Tuesday, yesterday. There you go.
Yeah, and this happens on occasion that it does take some time. They need swelling to go down. So, yeah, we want to see Neighbors back. Hopefully, first week of the season next year.
Please, because how do we have all these injuries this year? Again, we say it probably every year, but it feels like this season is a lot. For those two to go down, I mean, Cam Skattebo was having a great start to the season. Where is he in points? I think so.
I
He
think he
was
was top.
11th in
Yeah, I thought he was
points
top
per
10.
PPR. He might be. I'm
We're
looking right
definitely
now. I
close
see
to it.
60. Well, okay, he's tied for 10th with Saquon Barkley with 16, excuse me, PPR fantasy points per game.
Yeah,
He was going to have a good run out.
I said it yesterday or Monday. This is the case where you made a great pick and you're not going to be rewarded for it
No.
because he's not going to finish the year. I mean, he when he was out there, he gave you production, but a lot of picks that you make that are really good sometimes get affected by injury, and this is one because he was, ninth, 10th round,
Oh
and there
yeah,
was a
he was
time
late.
too. Remember, there was a report that came out by a Giants beat writer that said Tyrone Tracy is the lead back, and do you remember
Yep.
that? It was right
Yeah.
before the
Oh
start
yeah.
of the season,
Oh yeah.
and Skattebo was banged up, so that caused him to fall because there was a period during best ball season where in one draft Skattebo went first, the next one Tracy went as the
Hmm.
first Giants running back, so they were really close. So yeah, I mean those that drafted Skattebo, it was a great pick. Unfortunately, it won't look it at the end of the year, and ultimately we want to win championships, and that's kind of what we measure things on. But
Yeah.
injuries can take away great picks, and it happens every single year. But that was a good one.
And I think the only silver lining, not that there is one when we talk about injuries, but because Cam Skattebo was going so late in drafts, that hopefully you have other running backs that you can just plug and play now. That Cam Skattebo was just so good that you said, "Oh, I'm going to start him over some of these, some of these other options that I have on my bench." Like, but still, just a
That's a
huge
big.
loss.
It's a big loss
It
because
is.
I mean, you mentioned that, but you could have also drafted a bad running back, and then Skattebo came in to fill that void. You were counting on him, and now he's gone, and now you got a big opening. So, yeah, it really is a big loss.
I'm just trying the optimistic outlook, but
I get
realistically,
it.
that's probably I've got let's see, I have a team here for my friend because I know I told her I said, "Hey, go draft Cam Skattebo." So her other running backs are Derrick Henry, RJ Harvey, Jordan Mason.
Yeah, that's a problem right
So that's
now.
tough.
Yeah, I
God,
mean, and
Derrick
Henry, at least you're feeling more optimistic about with Lamar Jackson returning, but Mason with Aaron Jones back and the state of that offense is
Oh, and
not good, and
Tyler Algier, sorry,
that's not
misread.
good either.
Well,
So,
hey, this
and
is
then
one where I said I can see that I just said go zero RB. Besides or no hero RB, I should say.
you're not
Just
doing
mark
that
down.
next year, right? You're gonna take like two or
Well,
three
I
running
did.
backs in the first five
Well,
rounds next
man,
year,
I
right?
really did an anchor RB approach this year, which is, I mean, it's really shifted. 2 years ago, it was full zero RB. Last season, it was the same, where you just take, but all those wide receiver injuries last season really sank a lot of ships. And we've talked about that before. This season, I definitely want more hero RB. So that's when you draft an elite running back in the first, and they have to be elite. That's the thing. It's the first 2 rounds. You could maybe get away with someone in the third, but that's really, on the edge of being an elite running back. But yeah, I made sure to get one running back in the first two because of the damage that was done last season. And yeah, might have five now by the 6th round next year. That's probably how I'm going to draft.
I
It's
think
just
so, right?
crazy.
It's
I just
recency bias looking at the results, but I mean, for the most part, outside of Saquon Barkley, a lot of the early running backs have hit.
They have, and that's the thing with these guys at the beginning. I mean, Jonathan Taylor's up there, CMC, Bijan, Jameer Gibbs, James Cook, Achan, Josh Jacobs, Javante Williams is an outlier in here in the top 10. You've got Bucky Irving, but he's been hurt
Hurt,
unfortunately.
yeah.
Saquon Barkley, and then you've got the Omarion Hamptons of the world, Brees Hall, Kyron Williams, DeAndre Swift. Actually, wow, DeAndre Swift at
Yeah,
12
he's
fantasy
been
points per game.
yeah, he's
Huh?
been really solid this year. He's
He
come
has been.
on over the last few weeks as well, even with Kyle Monangai, getting a little bit more involved. But yeah, Swift's just been that kind of like boring veteran, reliable back that you could plug in as a RB2. It's really when you get outside that top 12 where you see a lot of
Yeah.
the duds, the rookies, the Travion Hendersons, the RJ Harveys. I mean, Connor got hurt, Kenneth Walker in his diminished role, Chuba Hubbard, Alvin Kamara. Yeah, we talk about that like
Oof,
dead
Chase
zone. That's it
Brown,
right there. Chase Brown too has been a disappointment
Kenneth
because
Walker.
yeah,
Oh,
Walker is just the role. I mean, it's way worse than anyone could have envisioned. Because again, he
it's
was a
just
good
bad.
fit for this offense, and just way more Zach Charbonnet who hasn't been efficient.
Yeah. Oh, there's Alvin Kamara all the way down at
That was what.
31.
So I look. I wanted no part of Kamara last year, and he was way better than I thought. I was doubling down on that this year. I don't have him anywhere, and again, I don't see it getting better. I see it only getting worse
No.
for him.
No, well, we would have seen it last week. And I know, well, with the, injury to Kendre Miller, you thought to yourself, okay, well, maybe he gets this a little bit bigger of a role. And yeah, you're right. It just doesn't look like it's going to happen. Travis Etienne sitting there at 20. Derrick Henry is at 19. I'm talking about fantasy points PPR fantasy points per game. It's just
Yeah,
bad.
ETN got off to a good start, but if you look now, the schedule has not helped him. I think he's an interesting player that people are probably asking about because he has not scored a touchdown since week 4. But look at the last 3 matchups he's had: Kansas City,
Hmm.
Seattle, and the Rams. I mean, that is tough. I don't want to make excuses. And then you have Trevor Lawrence not playing well. Uh, but this week at the Raiders, you need to see a good game from Travis
Oh,
Etienne this
yeah.
week against the Raiders.
Yeah, I've got more. We're going to talk more on him here coming up in a little bit. Oh my gosh. Do you want to know this deal for Aiden Hutchinson?
What is it?
$180 million extension with 141 million in total guarantees.
Damn, good for
So
him.
that makes him the second highest paid pass rusher in the NFL, right behind one Micah Parsons at 45 million a year.
Yeah, the
Wow.
money just keeps going up.
Good for him. That's close to your contract, right?
No, mine's a little higher, but I don't want to brag about that.
No, it's very nice of you to just keep that to yourself.
Yeah, I don't need that information out there.
Oh my goodness. We're going to continue on. We're going to keep taking some of your questions. If you have them, send them our way at K Valenzuela 17, at Adam Ronis over there on X. It is time for Stock Watch here, though. I want to go through one Travis Etienne, see where we're at with him. Same with Tajay Spears, Woody Marks, and more here. So we're going to break that down coming up next. Oh, as always, appreciate everyone hanging out with us here. We've got the best listeners, but Adam, I will say they are telling us to not do smelling salts. So I'm gonna bow out.
I think I'll give it a
There's
shot
no.
one of these days.
Can you do it on the air?
Sure, why not?
But then I won't see you for like an hour.
Why not? I'll be
You'll
fine.
just be running around. You'll be running around your.
I'll
You'll
run
go
through
for
the
like a
screen.
5. You'll go through like 5 mile run right now. Well, you can't. Oh, you can go on your balcony now, so it's perfect. A
Yes.
little fresh
Oh,
air.
you want me to jump off it? That's messed
No,
up.
what? Aren't you like 9 stories in the air or something?
15.
What?
Yeah.
No, why would I say that? I didn't say that. Hang on. How's the elevator situation? Are those all fixed? Good to
No,
go?
one is
Oh,
still out.
okay.
But you
Well,
haven't
that's
heard
fine.
anything.
No, haven't.
No,
It's
it's been
just
fine.
no, it's been great. So I guess we're not doing smelling salts. So thank you for everyone for being
We
really
will.
concerned
I
about
guess
it. I'm
before I
not
play
going.
softball,
Are
right?
you?
That's what I was
Oh,
told.
that could be fun.
Yeah.
You don't need that though.
No,
You're
I
locked
don't.
in on
I'm locked
softball.
in.
Yeah, you're ready to go. I do see one question here from Kenny, and I'm sure a lot of people have the same thing. He says, my weekly question, what am I going to do with Travion Henderson? Vidal and Chenti are my other backs. I joked last week about rage dropping him. And, Ramondre Stevenson, I guess, is the other thing that we can look at here when we're talking about him. But it's just a hold situation, right? There's not much you can do. And you hope that towards the end of the season, middle half of the season, that he's going to be able to step up, but it has just been so disappointing. Ramondre Stevenson, I will say, went from scoring 16.8 fantasy points week 7 to 5.9 this past Sunday. So that's the other thing is it feels like right now, Adam, it would take an injury, but he's still just a hold in this situation.
Yeah, I get it. It's very frustrating because the expectations were high. I mean, he was drafted in some leagues in the 3rd, 4th round, and it just has not panned out. Even with the Antonio Gibson injury, it hasn't opened the door. Now, we did see Anderson have one of his better games last week. He still only played 21% of the snaps, and he did fumble late in that game, too. So you wonder if there's a penalty for that.
Well, there's not for anyone else.
Well, Stevenson doesn't get penalized. We know that,
Yeah.
right?
They actually just say, you know what, you can do that as many times as you want. We're
But
fine with it.
look, that was against a tough Cleveland defense. He had 10 carries for 75 yards. So, and it's not like Stevenson has done much. So, yeah, look, he's just a hold at this point. I don't think you could start him right now based on what we've seen, but you also don't want to let him go. And then that's when he starts to get going.
I think he's
Because
making a case for more touches, but we'll see if they actually take that into account. That's just what you have to wait for at this point.
And he was getting some of those carries in the first quarter. It's not like that
Mhm.
came late when they were up big. There were a couple of those runs in the first quarter because I was like, wow, Henderson already
Absolutely.
has 30 yards in the first quarter. What's going on here?
And then he said, check back later.
Yeah. He said, all right, Stevenson, your turn to stay on the field most of the game.
It's just so annoying. So I appreciate that question coming in, but it is definitely a hold with Travion Henderson. Stock watch and some names that I wanted to go through. Looking at the Chargers, where are we at with Quentin Johnston? Stock rising, stock falling, a little bit neutral here because we've seen the rise of Lad McConkey. Aronde Gadsden is also someone that you're just talking about. We're just talking about a lot now. And Quentin Johnston has fallen. I looked 12. He's fallen 12 points in the utilization score over the last 4 games. So obviously he had the hamstring injury that was a little bit brutal, and then obviously can affect your games. But where are you at? Where's your stock watch at with Quentin
I
Johnston?
mean, you're clearly concerned. We saw 52% of the snaps last week. Now all the receivers were kind of down last week. They had an easy victory, so they didn't need to do much late. But you have to be concerned because you have Keenan Allen, you have McConkey, and again, Gadsden is just not going away. Gadsden actually
Yeah.
played the most snaps. He played way more snaps than any wide receiver last week. He was at 77%. The receiver that played the most snaps was actually Trey Harris at 59%. McConkey was at 58. Even Keenan Allen was at 25% last week. Now, he still had some catches early in the game, but yeah, there's no way all four guys are going to produce on a weekly basis, even
No.
with the Chargers being more pass heavy. Kamani Vidal had a great game last week. They have another favorable matchup this week against Tennessee, so we'll see if we'll see if they run away with it. I mean, we're used to the Chargers having these letdown games. I don't know if it happens here against Tennessee. They're so bad. Chargers favored by 9.5 on the road. Typically,
Wow.
when you see that, you always go, "Yeah, I'll take the points," but it is Tennessee. But yeah, you have to be worried about Quentin Johnston right now. It looked like he was having a breakout year, and there's just too much competition. So you'll see, like this week, maybe Johnston and McConkey have a good game, and Allen is the one who's left out.
Yeah.
So that's what you have to worry about though with this Chargers offense. You're just not going to be able to see consistency from three receivers, and then the emergence of Gadsden, who I just don't see slowing down at this point. I mean, he
No.
continuously is making plays. He's getting open. Herbert's looking for him. I mean, he's got to be. I don't know where you have him ranked this week, but you got to have him
Let
top
me check.
five, I would think.
Oh, he's if
Even
he's
with
not
Brock
there, he's
Bowers
got to
coming
be.
back.
Yeah, he's got Brock Bowers. That has just been another disappointing tight end that we can talk about. But I agree with you on Gadsden. It doesn't feel like, and I've seen people, oh, okay, is this a flash in the pan? Is this just kind of fluky the last couple of weeks with what we've seen? And I don't believe it is. So I've got Gadsden at 6 this week.
Where's Bowers?
5.
I think I
I
would play
know.
Gadsden
I
over
know.
Bowers this week.
Going up against Jacksonville, and then I've got Jake Ferguson after them. Sam LaPorta also after them. So it's George Kittle, Tucker Kraft, Tyler Warren, Trey McBride in that first tier, which
Yeah,
feels right.
it's like Gadsden. I could see. I know for me, I'm going to be flexing him in a couple leagues where I have a good tight end. Like I have Tyler
Mhm.
Warren and Gadsden in the same league. I don't see how I can not play both. And ideally, you would never want to flex a tight end. But again, Gadsden's playing like a wide receiver anyway,
Yeah.
and he's running so many routes. He's on the field a lot. So look, until he has a bad game, and it'll happen, right? Every tight end has had a bad game this year, I think, except Trey McBride. I mean, Ferguson just had a 0. Kittle had a 0 his first game back.
Mhm.
Tyler Warren, has he had? I mean, he's
I
probably
feel
had
like
like a
he's
7 or 8 point game,
yeah.
which is
And I think it
fine.
was the game that I was sad actually. No,
Okay,
well, 9.3. That's his
that's his
second
lowest game.
lowest.
Yeah, I
No,
think he's had like a
6.8
7.8 game.
against 6.8 against Tennessee in week 3.
Okay, yeah, and then he had 9 points. So that's
Mhm.
fine. McBride's worst game is 9.1, but Kyler Murray should be back, so that means he could have another 9.
Ugh. You loved
Now, look, McBride's been fine. Like people obviously are making the jokes with Murray and how
Yeah, because look at the
Brissett.
last 2 weeks with
Right.
Brissett. Oh
You've
my
had
gosh.
you've had 3 touchdowns in 2 games. He had one in the first 5 with Kyler Murray, and then of course the last couple of years with him. But he's been fine. I mean, Kraft has had a down game. I think that was a game he was coming off injury. He was banged up. We had the
Yeah.
5.9. But yeah, every tight end's going to have a game of 5, 6 points. So it'll happen for Gadsden. at some point. But right now, what we've seen the last 3 weeks, it's hard to bench him. I think you got to find a way to get him in, even if you have one of those top tier tight ends.
Definitely. And when we're talking my flex overall rankings, he's at 51. So if you check those flex rankings, he's probably going to be ahead of some of the other guys that you might be looking, the wide receiver fours or fives where like, oh, should I play this guy? It's probably going to skew towards Gadsden over there. And he's, like you said, he's been really good, 12.6 PPR fantasy points per game to start his, season so far. And that's seventh. Man, Tucker Craft though. Talk about someone rest of the way. I don't know if I'll have him every single time top three, obviously, but man, he's had a really really good run out, and it's been fun. So if you were able to wait on someone like Tucker Craft too, where do I have him this week? I don't know. Wait.
Probably two,
Oh,
one or
here he is.
two.
I see him at 3.
Yeah,
I might change that
I
though.
think he
I've
should
got
be.
Trey McBride, Tyler Warren
I think it should be
at 2.
McBride Craft at this point.
It's early in the week. I always
It's
I always go through and
close.
change them. But
Yeah,
Tucker Craft has just been incredible. I know, and it was National Tight Ends Day. We absolutely love that. But he had the highest PPR point total by any tight end this season, third highest single game point total in the past 3 years, behind one Taysom Hill from 2024. He's just been amazing, and that was a later tight end that you could have gotten. So he's really been helping a lot of fantasy teams.
yeah. He's got 6 touchdowns on 30 catches, so one for every 5 receptions. So
Incredible.
yeah, and they're featuring him more now. And I want to see if this is a sign of things to come because the last 2 weeks, 10 and 9 targets, that was really kind of what was missing from him. Where you look at the first few games 4, 7, 4, 5, and 2. We
Hmm.
know they have a lot of receivers and they tend to spread the ball around. But I think they're starting to see this guy is just so lethal after the catch, right? It's like George Kittle esque after the catch. So you just need to get the ball in his hands and let him make things happen. And that's what he's doing now. And then, again, 19 targets over the last 2 games to me is the most encouraging thing.
Well, I remember I just looked this up. My breakout, he was one of my breakout candidates, and it was with an asterisk because we kind of saw him break out last season. But I said if Green Bay, and this is what I wrote up for this year, if Green Bay was able to feature him a little bit more, because he finished overall last season as the tight end 10,
Due to
but when
touchdowns.
yeah,
Well,
but Green
actually,
Bay
yeah,
was 24th in rate of targets to tight ends last season. So I said, hey, if you give him a little bit more, he's going to be a lot better. And we had him projected during the offseason as 16th in projected targets among tight ends. So they've obviously started to change that. And you're right. This week is going to be important and telling. And same with the next few games of if they really start to give him more. You also have one Christian Watson back, Matthew Golden. I mean, I had him in this stock watch conversation, but obviously it's going down
yeah.
because historically his comps with Dwayne McFarland and the utilization report have averaged 7.7 fantasy points. 1% of those have reached top 36 wide receiver statuses. It's just been bad.
No, it is. It's been really disappointing because they've had some injuries to wide receivers, and we thought the opportunity was there, and it just hasn't happened. I mean, and Tucker Craft is part of the issue. He's
Yeah.
just been getting the targets, and like, he had 7 touchdowns last year in 17 games. He already has 6 this year. So yeah, he was one of the better tight ends to take late. I have him in a couple leagues, but you always wish you had more when the player performs like this.
Let's give Tucker Craft more and see what happens. How about that? Let's just feature him even more than what he's been doing and see where it ends up for the Green Bay Packers. We're gonna continue on though. Want to continue going through some names, if they're risers or fallers in the stock watch, but then also early week 9 rankings. Kyler Murray is back at him. Should we say nice things about Kyler Murray? Are you ready to do that?
I'll leave that to you
No.
because I don't have many.
I have one share and I regret every single part of it. We're going to talk through him, potentially Brock Purdy returning as well, and more here coming up next. If you call yourself a sports fan, you gotta have Xfinity. All the games all in one place. And here is what you get when you watch sports with Xfinity. And it is a lot. So listen up. You get the Sports Zone. You get every pro football game and over 1,000 college games, highlights and alerts all in one place. You get the multi-view. So that means you can be in up to 4 stadiums at once. You also get the Xfinity fan view. So that is live scores, odds, all the stats that you want for all your favorite teams personalized to you. And then, of course, the enhanced 4K and the voice remote where you can just say football. Imagine all your football all in one place. Easy. Learn more at xfinity.com. Restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. I think that's my favorite. It's my favorite rejoin of the season.
Booty is my favorite. I'm not gonna
Get
lie.
out of here. Boo. Boo. Everyone boo this man through your radio. I will say, I did put Keyshawn Booty in here just so we could like, yeah, make the jokes. Make us laugh. Come on. What are we doing? What are we even talking? How did I even get Keyshawn
I don't
Booty
know.
in this rundown? It's
I
a week 9 rankings. That's what we're talking about here. And we are breaking that down. And again, if you guys have any questions at K Valenzuela 17 at Adam Ronis over there on X, you're so annoying. You're so annoying. I'm crying. I'm laughing so hard. All right, we're going through it here. We will talk about Keyshawn Booty here in a minute because, well, we can do it now. My wide receiver 36 on the week. I still think. I think there is something left here for Keyshawn Booty. If he's floating around on waivers, I think he should be rostered almost everywhere. He's making the most of the opportunities that he's having, and I know that the Falcons should be a tougher test when they're facing them. But I have him as a wide receiver 3 going into this week, actually. And we're now changing, looking at week 9 and everything else. But Drake May has looked really good to start the season. He's in MVP conversations, all this stuff. And when I'm looking at Keyshawn Booty and his ADOT and everything else, he's got. I just think there's more left here. And I think we could start to see him really break out in the few weeks to come.
Yeah, he's been relying on the big play, and they have been happening. He's had a reception of at least 29 yards in 3 straight
Hmm.
games, averaging 18.7 yards per catch. The issue is, though, it's just like there's not enough volume here. He's got 10 receptions over the last 3 games. 4 have gone for touchdowns. So you really are reliant on him coming through and scoring. And if he doesn't, it's going to be a dud week. Now they are spreading the ball around, and it looked like Stephon Diggs was emerging, and then it might have just been that revenge game against Buffalo where he got fired up, and it's like, all
Yeah.
right, back down, because he's still not playing a lot of snaps. And they're probably being smart about this. An older receiver coming off a torn ACL, they're 6-2. They haven't needed to push him. And look at the snaps. I mean, since week 5, 50%, 59, 54, 51. So Booty has led them in snaps the last like
Yeah.
actually last 4, 5, actually almost every week this year. He's led
Yes.
the receivers in snaps, so he is on the field a lot. But yeah, it's just they have spread the ball around a lot, and I think he's more wide receiver 3. But 5 touchdowns on 23 catches, so very reliant on touchdowns. So just keep that in mind.
I just still think he should. I saw he's available in over 55% of the Yahoo leagues. And if
That
you're
doesn't count.
all right, if
I
you're in
mean
deeper
Yahoo.
formats, he's probably not available.
Yeah,
But if
he's
he
not.
is out there, I just don't know if New England's not going to eventually say, "All right, he's been efficient with what we've given him. Let's try for more volume and see what he can come down with." He's got his ADOT, his average depth of target 17.03, besides Alec Pierce. So he's second highest ADOT of the season among wide receivers. And I'm just looking at him, and he has the lowest targets per route run rate among receivers with at least 30 targets, but he's made him count. And so that's why I'm looking at him again, a wide receiver 3. It's not someone that you are just trying to fight and claw your way to get into your lineups week in and week out. But again, we're done with the bye Mageddon. There's still really good teams that are going to be clumped together on buys. Like week 9, again, this week it's the Browns, the Jets, the Eagles, Tampa Bay. Week 10, it's Cincinnati, it's Dallas, it's Kansas City, and it's the Tennessee Titans, who don't count. But I'm
So
just,
what in order for I think Booty to take that next step up, you need the Patriots to be in more competitive games, cuz as good as Drake May has been, it's been based on efficiency. Cuz if you look at the pass attempts for Drake May the last few
mhm.
games, you'd be like, "Wow, how's he doing this?" 26, 23 and 24. So when you have the pass attempts that low, you're not going to have a lot of completions. And that's been the case with Drake May. I mean, he hasn't had more than 22 completions since week 3. So he's
Mhm.
just been so efficient. 9 yards per pass attempt, the 15 touchdowns. So you need New England to get pushed a little bit to open up more volume. And I think that would help Booty to, a better fantasy performance, but or consistency. Uh, the thing is, though, you look at their schedule.
was going to say that's
I
kind of an easy schedule.
Yeah, I mean
Rest
that was
away.
well, that was one of the things with New England before the year when you looked at them. Like I thought they were going to go over their win total this year because I thought the division was weaker. I didn't like Miami or the Jets,
What was that
and
set at, by the
I think
way?
it was
The win
seven
total.
and a half. It might have. I think it might have been bet up to 8.5. I mean,
Okay.
when you looked at the development of Drake May, Vrabel coming in as coach in the division, you figure the defense would get better. They had some pieces there.
Hmm.
Like you could see it. And, now they have the Falcons at home. We don't know what the hell the Falcons are, but we know they're not good on
Confusing.
the road. Then they're at Tampa, who will be coming off a bye, maybe a little healthier. The Jets, the Bengals, the Giants, the Bills, who they get at home after already beating them in Buffalo, at Baltimore, which will be tough. The Jets and the Dolphins. This team actually don't rule them out for winning the division. Like if the Buffalo loses this week to
Yes.
Kansas City, New England is in a good spot. So that's the thing, though. You want to see more competitive games so Drake May can complete more passes.
Yeah, I mean, and Drake May is playing with a 75.2% completion percentage. It's and that was the crazier part last week was we were saying, wow, this is going to be a tougher game, right? It's the Browns defense, and he finished with a 135.8 passer rating, and they won that game handedly. It was handedly.
He
He was
did,
like 32 and 13, 32 to
yeah. There
13.
there were some struggles in that game early. He did throw an
But then he
interception.
settled in.
Yeah, and then he's like, "Oh, okay, watch this," because they were down 7-3 after the first quarter. It was only 9-7. They were up at the half, and then
Hmm.
they exploded in the third quarter. But yeah, like I didn't care. Like there were some questions last week. Oh, do I play Drake May against Cleveland? And I was like, I'm playing Drake May every week until he shows me that a good defense can shut him down. And we just haven't seen it yet. And I don't know if we will based on that schedule.
Imagine if he had like even just one Jordan Addison.
Yeah.
Just a different, like,
Or
a
or
different,
Chris
or
Olave, right?
Devontae
If he
Smith,
gets traded,
AJ
or
Brown.
Shaheed. What if
Ooh,
Shaheed gets
Shaheed.
traded to in New
Jaylen
England?
Waddle. What about a little Waddle over there? Oh, it
Yeah.
wouldn't that wouldn't happen. But I mean, yeah, he's just looked really good. And so I think that with how good that he's looked, more opportunities might come Kayshon Boutte's way. So that's one to look at over there. We've got more. I've got more early week 9 rankings that we're going to go through. Besides Kayshon Boutte, we will talk about one Kyler Murray. We're going to do that and more here coming up next. Hopefully, everyone's having a great start to their Wednesday. Appreciate everyone hanging out with us right here. Fantasy Life on Sirius XM Fantasy Sports Radio. Kendall, Valenzuela, Adam Ronis with you right here. Looks like there's a little bit of an update. Well, not really, though, from Adam Schefter saying that Falcons quarterback Michael Penix Jr. is day to day with the bone bruise in his knee. But Raheem Morris, their head coach, just told reporters that he feels, quote, really good about his quarterback for Sunday's game against the Patriots. Obviously, he's talking about Kirk Cousins. I'm kidding.
Yeah. Well, we've heard things like this with Lamar Jackson last week, so I'm not believing it just yet.
Kirk Cousins making all that money. Good for him. You said it though in the break. Good
Yeah,
for him.
hey, if you can get the money, always try and get
Oh
it,
my goodness.
even if you're ripping someone off like he is.
Yeah, we need his agent. We need
Yeah,
to we
I
need to
do.
go talk to. We need to say, hey, you want to come on here and just tell us how you've done all that? That is just impressive. But hey, we always support guys getting paid there, so we like that one. Kyler Murray. Sorry to ruin your mood when we talk about Kyler Murray. I saw your face change there, but we do. I will say he is coming back off his bye. Sorry, producer. I know. Sorry, Jimmy. I'm sorry. We just have to go there. He'll be my QB 11 though, because what's one team we always pick on? Your Dallas Cowboys.
Oh
So at
yeah,
least, yeah. I
damn
mean,
it.
there's no way I can put him outside. I was looking at any way to put him outside the top 13 quarterbacks, and I couldn't do it. Ian Hartitz loves this stat, but I think AT&T Stadium, he says Kyler Murray is 9-0 in his lifetime, dating back to his time in high school. I love that stat. Come on.
Yeah, there's only so yes, the matchup is great, but I have a rule. If the quarterback is shorter than Kendall, then it's a
Hey,
problem.
hey, he's probably my height, right?
I think you're taller.
No way.
Yeah.
Get out of here. You're just being mean now.
No.
I mean, come on, the
Yeah,
Cowboys
they've
this
allowed the
season,
most
Jay,
fantasy points to quarterbacks. I
they
mean,
made Russell Wilson look good.
I know.
Come
Russell had
on.
450 and 3 touchdowns against them.
He had
How did Jalen Hurts
30.3
not throw a
fantasy
touchdown
points.
against them in week 1? I guess they had that lightning delay too. He did rush for
That
2
was a
though,
weird.
but I mean, Caleb Williams had a big game against them, and if you've watched Caleb Williams, it has not been good outside of that
No.
game. Justin Fields had 283
Yeah.
against them.
Wait, what happened to? Oh, Jaden Daniels got hurt in that game,
Yeah.
right?
Oh,
Week
he was
7?
gonna have. I had the.
Oh,
I had
that's
his
right. He was gonna have a big.
I had his over passing yards in that game. I think it was around 226, and he was at 156. He was gonna go over it. He got hurt.
Well, he still gave you 17.7. So that's my point, is that we pick on the Cowboys because of what they allow to other quarterbacks there, and that's going to be one Kyler Murray. Maybe we can get some production from Marvin Harrison Jr. That'd be nice.
But if there's ever one quarterback that could come up
Stop.
short, no pun intended, it would be Kyler Murray against Dallas.
Boo. Come on, that's horrible. Brock Purdy, I have, if he is good to play this week, and we'll see. Who knows what's going to happen there. QB 16. So if he manages to come back, he is obviously going to be, he's going to be in the mix, but I don't know what we're doing over there. And obviously that was an injury that was way worse than what they expected at the very beginning, but he'll be in the mix, but we'll just have to wait and watch the practice reports to see if he's good to go. They're playing the Giants on the road.
Yeah, I'm not convinced he's ready to go this week yet, but we'll see.
Well, Mac Jones again.
Your
You
favorite.
didn't ask me to say it again? Come on. What are we doing? Lock in. Appreciate everyone hanging out with us. We're going to be back same time tomorrow. FantasyLife.com is where you want to go get our rankings, projections, everything. Have a great rest of your day. We'll see you then.